Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman. I've been doing some lives recently, some live streams, so if you guys want to see some live guided meditations, you can go over to the live tab on my channel. Just click the channel link down below and then go to my live tab. And you'll see a bunch of live recording stuff, or a lot of live meditations. So today, we'll see how far we get. This may or may not be a long video, I'm not sure, but if it's very short, reasonably short, then I'll go ahead and go on to discuss something else, or do a quick meditation today. So today we are discussing a question from a viewer about astrology. My preferred form of astrology is Vedic astrology, simply because tropical is it's wrong by 24 degrees. So if you look at the if you look at the different even if you look at a astronomical map of where the planets currently are, you'll see that if you look at that compared to a tropical Western astrology chart, they will be 24 to 25 degrees off. That's just because of, in Western astrology, they didn't account for the precession of the equinox, which is, Earth is on a wobble. And so, things don't naturally, the equation there got shifted around. So, long story short, and I have videos dedicated to this subject, the tropical astrology, Western astrology, is incorrect on its accounting for where the planets are. Now, having said that, you can use a sidereal Vedic astrology chart, and you can use that chart and do the typical Western astrology stuff with it. So, I just wanted to let you know that. So if you're really committed to tropical astrology, Western astrology, you really like that system, okay, great. Go use a sidereal astrology map and then use that with your knowledge of Western astrology. Now, what I also like about Vedic astrology is that it is not based on the sun. It is very much tailored to you and your time of birth. Now, as you may know, the sun rotates around it's a 365 degree, or it's a 365 day cycle. That's what we call 1 year. And our birthday is what we call our solar return. The sun comes back to its position that it was at the time of your birth. That's what you call your birthday. Now, what I particularly enjoy about Vedic astrology is that it doesn't go on your sun sign. So the sun, as I said, transits signs 30 days. Every 30 days it transits. And so, what's it called? So essentially that's a large period of time, right? So, but in Western astrology, it goes, we base it off the sun sign, or instead of the sun sign, the rising sign, or the lagna. So the sun, I keep saying so. I mean, the sign, so the astrological sign that was rising up in the east at the time of your birth, at that horizon line, right? That's the ascendant, what we call the ascendant, the rising sign, the lagna, the first house, and that is your Vedic sign. That is your astrological sign, which dictates the whole chart. Everything in all the places, in all the houses, all that stuff. And so that's why I like that. Plus it's more spiritually focused. I found that, tropical Western astrology, it does great for describing your outward personality. I learned a lot about my outward personality traits and characteristics based on that tropical zodiac, the Western astrology. But, but I, it's dealing with Vedic astrology is a whole different animal. So, Western astrology typically based on the human identity, human characteristics, and all that, or like personality, things like that. Whereas Vedic astrology, it has a bunch of different charts, and you can learn a bunch of different things about that. If you get a birth chart reading with me, if you get a astrology reading with me, you'll see that I teach you all kinds of different things, from what pendant you should wear to your birthstone, your Aruda Lagna, the ascendant, the Atmakarka, all kinds of things that are very helpful and will stick with you throughout your life. I know a lot of people who, they'll go see an astrologer every like 6 months, every year, just to get a forecast on, okay, what's happening this year, or what's happening with this situation. Nothing wrong with that, but I personally would like to have a chart that I could look into that would have a reading that would benefit me for the rest of my life. And as long as I'm sticking to that specific mantra that is prescribed for me, sticking to that specific puja or ritual that is prescribed to me specifically for my chart, I found great value in that, because it's just like, oh, this is, I don't need to be worried about a divorce or kids or whatever, like whatever problems going on in my life. If I just do that mantra or those spiritual practices, that it's like righting the ship. It's turning the ship around in a right direction. The mantra that I give you in your astrology reading will always be something that you can do for the rest of your life. And it is, it's really beneficial. It's very beneficial. People always want to know remedies and things like that. So yeah, so Vedic astrology has been extremely beneficial, and the readings that I give my clients always say great things about it. It's just like, wow, how, found so much value in this. I've, had such a, it was a wonderful reading. Like, I always like give my clients like extra, extra time and extra, asking questions or whatever. Like, that's cool. I honestly love doing Vedic astrology readings. It's really something fun for me to do. All right. So, main reason for me turning on this camera and recording this video is I have a question here from a person on my YouTube channel. It's quite a lengthy question. There's a lot of stuff to get into. So I'm just going to read that question right now. So I've kind of explained the basics of Vedic astrology and all that. So, and the differences between Vedic and Western. So we'll just go ahead and read this. This is from Earth, Water, Air, Fire. Great name. Love it. Alright, so this is on my Sun in Pisces video. And he or she, I don't know, but they say, "Hi, I have no way of obtaining my birth time. I just about gave up. All I know is I'm a Pisces sun in sidereal and Aries in Western." Yep. This is what I was talking about, guys. Is that the chart will be different in different, in different calculations of the zodiac. So tropical will be 24 degrees ahead, I think. Hold on, let me see. I'm, what does she say? Pisces sun in sidereal and Aries in Western. Yeah, so, from what I think I know, I thought Western was behind. I thought Western astrology, the Western zodiac, was 24 degrees behind sidereal. I could be wrong on that. They could be 24 degrees ahead. I'm not quite sure. It makes sense that they're ahead, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's that difference, it makes all the difference in the world having an accurate chart to depend on. In sidereal, if you look at the sidereal zodiac, if you just pull up like my iPad has a Geodish dashboard, which is a great app. And if I pull up the here and now calendar on it, let me do that real quick. Let me see here. Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute. Okay, here we go. So yeah, if I, pull up here and now, we have Saturn and Neptune, Saturn in Pisces. We have the moon in Taurus. We have Jupiter in Gemini. Okay, so like for example, in Western astrology, those placements would be totally different. Moon could be in Gemini right now in Western. So, and I don't have a access to a Western chart just because I don't use it really. So, all right. So, yes, this is the difference. This is why that you guys. I see you guys getting so confused between tropical and Western. Or yeah, tropical and Vedic. So let me see here. So she says, I'm assuming it's a she. Have no way of obtaining my birth chart. All I know is I'm Pisces sun in sidereal. Okay, so the Pisces sun in sidereal is what I would go with. Okay, so Pisces sun in sidereal. Yep, that's what you should be going with. And Aries in Western. Now, there's a key thing here. So she's looking at her sun placements like, oh, what astrology sign am I? So like I said, the tropical goes off of the sun's placement, right? What sign is the sun in? That's your sign. Whereas Vedic goes off of your ascendant. So this is what I wanted to get at, was so you don't know what time of day you were born in, and the ascendant in sidereal astrology, that changes every 2 hours. So every 2 hours or so, that sign is going to change. We have 12 zodiacs and we have 24 hours in a day, so every 2 hours, that sign is going to change. So it makes it almost unpredictable. You can say, oh yeah, my sun is this, okay, great, but that doesn't tell you the rest of your chart. Knowing your sun placement is like 1/10 of everything that you need to know in astrology, like for a beginner person. So it's very important to, since we have this predicament, so I'll just tell you guys what I would do in this predicament. Okay, we have no birth time. We have, okay, I know what my sun sign is, essentially, because this is the month that I was born in, and this is the day, and this is where the sun was. And, okay, great. But then we have this blank canvas of this, blank canvas of this astrology chart, right? So we don't know where anything is. Okay, so let me tell you this. Whenever you have an unknown birth time, I want you to go from the beginning of the day, look at it 12 a.m. on your birthday. 12 a.m., that means like midnight in the morning. And then I want you to look at where the moon is, the sign that the moon is in. So if, let's say, moon is in Pisces at the start of the day, and then sometimes you'll go ahead and look at the end of the day. I want you to see where the moon sign is then. Now, if it's shifted signs, then you gotta, that makes it harder. Okay? So if the moon sign is at Pisces at the beginning of the day, and it's in Aries at the end of the day, right? Because it's always moving signs, and the moon is the fastest moving planet. Just because it's close to us, it's always moving us or moving around us. So that's the moon, which is also the mind. This is why we have things like on full moons, there's always, crazy things that happen. Crime and people going crazy and this and that. But I would say on a new moon, that's maybe even more exaggerated, but we don't have that information because anyway. So I want you to look at your moon, and if your moon, I have a suspicion that your moon may be placed in the same sign at the beginning and the end of the day. So if that's you, if you look at 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m., I want you to go ahead and set the birth time as 12 noon. Okay, so the middle of the day. And I want you to make your moon sign your ascendant sign. So we always look at it from the ascendant. So place your moon as your ascendant. And this is not the complete chart. Like I wouldn't say that it's like, for example, okay, you could be born on this day and have your moon in your 8th house, your 4th house, your 2nd house. You could have your sun in your 12th house. You could have it in the 7th house, 4th house, 2nd house, whatever. But so the point here, what I'm getting at here, is that The moon is your mind. This is the heart mind, the heart. And so if you look at your chart from your moon placement, then you're going to see things how you view them. And if you look at your dashas from your moon placement, like your Vimshotri dasha system, it might not be the most accurate thing just because we don't have a precise time of birth, but it's going to be close. So, or it's going to be so the point there is it's going to look like those dashas are happening in accordance with the mind. So, or the heart mind. So essentially what I'm getting at here is that ideally, in an ideal world, we have the birth time exactly to the minute, no rounding. Oh, it was at, 5:30 a.m. Well, it was actually at like 5:26 and 40 seconds. Okay, that's not 5:30, but it's very good to get down to the minute. And although this is not a life-ending thing, this is not like, oh God, I need to figure it out. I understand, and so I have a process for this that I call birth charts, birth time rectification, and you can purchase it on my website. If you don't have a birth time, you can always purchase it on my website, gebotheshaman.com. I will spend weeks upon weeks going through your chart, asking you different questions, seeing where you're, seeing what's going on. I might do something like, okay, pick a number between 1 and 12, or 1 and 24. I've heard of astrologers doing this stuff, just like, okay, pick a random number, right? And then pick a number between 0 and 24. Pick a number between 0 and 60. Just to get the hour and the second. And it's interesting how that works, because I'm like, there's no way in hell that's gonna work. But I mean, you'd be surprised. Also, there's things like you could look at, like, for example, the Prashna chart, for example, my iPad, my Jyotish dashboard, which is the app that I use. If someone comes to me with a question and they ask me at now, right this second, I'll open this up and I'll look at it and I'll say, oh, well, moon in second house and what is it, in Kritika, in Taurus and Kritika. That's kind of a shrewd moon. That's kind of a cutting moon. So the mind is going to be sharp, things like that. I would look at the chart and I would figure it out what they were asking me based on this chart, not based on any other thing. And that takes some skill to interpret what things mean and how to approach and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm, the best or the whatever. I'm sure KRS is 1,000 times more gifted than me at astrology, but yeah, I'm just more, I guess, yeah, I just, you know, I do my best and I give my clients, like, you know, try to give them the best and most accurate readings and stuff. I have come to develop a system that works for me that you know, that you can rely on what I'm telling you. Yeah, so if you get an astrology reading at GeboTheShaman.com, go check it out. All right. So yeah, that earth, water, air, fire. That's what I would tell you to do. Is go get like a go get a an app like Jyotish Dashboard on if you have an Apple device, go get that. Like I have an iPad and I have an iPhone. So if you have an Apple device, go get Jyotish Dashboard. And it costs like $10, but it's worth it if you're into astrology. It's worth it. So yeah, things like Jyotish Dashboard. Rather than like I know Parashara's Light. That can be pretty expensive stuff. I mean, I'm an astrologer. I have been doing this for a long time, and I still like hesitate to go get that. You know, it's like, that's a lot. But I'm able to do what I need to do with the tools that I have. There's another app out there called Jaga. Oh, sorry guys. Damn, that was loud. It's called Jagannatha Hora. And if you want me to spell that for you, I don't know that I could. It's like something like Jagannatha, I think. Hora. And you just get that. And that one is actually pretty good. It's really good. Like it can, like that is the software that I do my birth time rectifications on, because you have everything, you know, you can skip forward, you can go back, you can make adjustments, that and this and that. So yeah. So let me keep on reading her comment here. So you say you don't know your birth time. You talked about your sun placement. I've heard if you have Jupiter well placed in your chart, then you should wear sapphire. But if you don't, you should wear silver. I have not heard that. In fact, I have my astrology book here. So I created a astrology book called Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology. And let me see if I can see that. Here we go. Boom. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Right there. Okay, so that is my book, Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology. It has a lot of good info on there. And, yeah, so, you know, it has some good stuff. Let me see if I can grab this thing over here. Where is my book? Yeah, where is it? Put it somewhere around here. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, here it is. Alright, so let me see here. It's towards the back of the book. And here it is. So, let me see. It's like, looks like. I'm gonna see. Okay, good luck pendant. There is a, oops. There you go. There is a section on the good luck pendant. So on Jupiter. So Jupiter, if you have, well, so here's the thing. I do this, if this is your Dharma Devata, which I can figure it out in your chart. After we do the birth time rectification, I can figure out what your Dharma Devata is. And if Jupiter is your Dharma Devata, I would suggest wearing a yellow sapphire or a citrine. So you don't have to go out and buy a $10,000, pendant or necklace or ring or whatever. You just, hold on, let me get set up here. Because my coattails are so long, I have to pull them up in order to get on this chair and be comfortable. Okay, so let's see. So as far as Jupiter, so this whole thing about, if I, if this is here, then I have to get this ring or this pendant or whatever. Let me adjust my mic. You might hear a loud sound, so be warned. Okay. So here's the thing on remedies, okay? Is when you have a chart that is not, you don't have the birth time, right? But you can, so you don't have your birth time, that's okay, but you can still make assessments, you can still, learn how to read your chart and get information, especially about, with your Charadasha, which is your moon, when you put your moon in your first house. So what I mean by that, when you're looking at your moon chart specifically, okay, let's say if your moon is in the 5th house, okay, you're going to rotate that chart so that your moon is in the 1st house. So, you have astrology charts like Jagannatha Hora that will do that for you. You can view a certain house as the ascendant. But, even if you don't do that or you can't do that, you can still look at, okay, I want you to follow those instructions that I provided you. You're going to look at the beginning of the day, end of the day, see if the moon has changed signs. It's okay if it's changed nakshatras and all that, but don't, if it's changed signs, you just want to go 12 o'clock, middle of the day. That way you're getting this, somewhat accurate kind of placement. And then I want you to put your moon, whatever house, whatever placement, put it as the ascendant. So that means that you're going to, let's say you have Mars next to the moon in the 2nd house from the moon. So you're going to say, okay, I have Mars in the 2nd house. You can even write this down as your own chart. So you get out a piece of paper, you write down the Indian chart. I prefer North Indian. I know that that's kind of hard for people to read, but that's okay. You can read it. You can learn how to read it. I learned how to read it, and I love it now. A North Indian chart looks like, let me see if I can get this. So the North Indian chart looks like this. So here's the here and now. I'm not sure if I might need to turn down the brightness a bit so you don't burn your eyes out. Okay, so that you can see there, that's what that looks like. It's just that big square there. I know you see two squares, that's okay. That's what that looks like. Alright. Alrighty. So, that's the North Indian chart. I would encourage you to use that one. I don't really care what you use. It's not me, so. But, yeah. So then, you know, I would encourage you to be very careful with using amulets, pendants, remedies, gemstones, anything like that. I would urge you to be very careful with that, because even though you think you're doing the right thing, it could, you know, mess you up in some way. Now here is a good way to strengthen your Jupiter, okay? So no matter where your Jupiter's placed, whether it's good or bad, you want to you just want to do spiritual activities. You want to meditate, you want to, whatever your thing is, pray, or do puja, or especially another good thing is like whenever you donate to your guru, whenever you like pay a spiritual teacher, whenever you you pay for a service, right? So if you want something from a spiritual teacher, you pay them for their services, that means Jupiter will bless you. Because, I have to deal with that myself. I have students and I have people on my channel who, there's a big poverty mindedness. Oh, I would buy your stuff, but I don't have the money. Okay, well, how are you gonna get the money? It's not about, oh, I don't have the money, so I'm not going to purchase that, even though I want it badly. It's about, okay, I don't have the money right now, but that's okay. I will do whatever I have to get what I want. And so you just do it. You pick up soda cans and you put them in the recycle and get money for it. Whatever you gotta do. You go mow your neighbor's lawn for $50 or $100 or whatever. You know, go provide a service of some kind. And and I would encourage you to do what you want to do. Like, do what makes you happy. But you gotta, here's the thing, guys, it's a lot of people struggle with this. A lot of people say, oh, well, I can't do that because I gotta wait for my next paycheck. Okay, well, you're never going to break out of that situation. If you continue to think like that, you're going to perpetuate, oh, well, I gotta wait for my next paycheck. It puts you in this state where you're always trapped because you're always waiting for your next paycheck to do anything. It's like you got to ask permission from your boss or whatever, or that's the message that you're sending, is I can't do anything without this fake thing called money. Oh, I don't have enough. So do you, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm turning this into a lecture, but like I've spent more money. uh, if I told you if I told you the amount of money that I spent on my guru, on my spiritual teacher, it would shock you. Because I don't make that much money. Like every month I'm on Social Security, you know? I'm on disability, so I don't make that much. And yeah, there's been times where I spent $2,000 to learn a spiritual martial art practice. Spent $2,000 to do that. And that's how much I love myself, because I'm not going to give up just because I don't have the money. I'll tell you what happened when I spent that $2,000. I got a big $2,000 check in the mail from taxes or something a long time ago. So, things work if you work them. All right, so let's continue with this question. So, so here's what I teach in my book. I teach about your Atma Karka. I teach about your Yoga Karka, your Ishta, your Ishta Devata, yeah, your Dharma Devata, and your what is it called? Your Palana Devata. So when you you gotta kind of find out those things before. Here's the thing, guys. In India, it was, and it probably still is, a big thing about, oh, you gotta wear your remedies, you gotta wear your gemstones. Oh, you got a bad place. You got a really bad place, Saturn. Oh, you better spend $10,000 on that blue sapphire, pendant or crystal or ring. And it's just like, why? What are you doing? All because your chart says something? It's all because your chart says something that you have this really bad placement. It's gonna get you. The boogeyman's coming. He's gonna get you. Well, I can tell you, this is a weird way of thinking. Because it's like, okay, so she wants. I'm assuming it's she wants to know about this Jupiter placement, about wearing sapphire or silver, right? Okay. So here's the thing. What effects from Jupiter are you seeing in your life? Are you making a lot of money and you being successful? You have a happy life, happy marriage, everything like that? Jupiter loves to dote on people. Jupiter loves to, oh, here, sweetheart, let me provide you all these blessings, all these wonderful things. Here you go, let me expand you. Jupiter loves doing all that stuff for his people. So if you're expanded and you're like, oh yeah, life is great. Aside from this, oh man, I can't figure out my birth time in astrology, but everything else is wonderful. Then you got nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. Everything's great. Everything's wonderful. Everything's peachy. But if you do have a problem that in your life that needs addressing, that you feel like you need a remedy for, then okay, by all means, go for it. Like, go, pursue an astrologer that knows remedies. Okay. There's also gurus that can do these things. they'll say, okay, I want you to go stand in the corner with one foot. And you go. Without asking questions, you stand in the corner on one foot. You don't ask questions. And the guru walks out of the dojo or the temple, and he's sitting across the street at the cafe drinking his coffee or whatever. You still stand there. Okay, I'm gonna give you. I'm not. That's a student that I think I can teach. But yeah. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah. So if you have anything like that, any negative effects on your life, and you think it's from a certain planet doing a certain thing, I can tell you that that is part of your karma that you're supposed to experience and persevere through. I know there's a lot of things in my life that I can say, oh yeah, that was Saturn. Or, oh yeah, that was Mars. Oh yeah, that was the sun. And the beautiful thing about the sun, though, is that it wants to burn away your karma. That's why when it goes in front of another planet like this, that's what's called combust. And that is burning and purging all the energies off of that planet. And it's like burning away karma. And you might experience that in your life, being like, whoa, that crazy thing happened in my life. And it's like, yeah, now your karma's burnt. So, let's see here. I really want to continue with this question. Okay, so, Get tells me that I have Jupiter well placed, but I feel ever since the age of Aquarius began, and seeing that we are no longer in the age of Pisces, things have been so hard for me. Okay. But I know if I can just take the right steps, I can still have Jupiter's influence in my life. Is there any remedies I can do? So you bring up this good point. Okay. So in around about 2012-ish is when things started to turn from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. Now, and you've heard of the song, right? We're living at the dawn of the age of Aquarius. All that crap. Yeah. Not crap, but I mean, yeah. And I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way to your question here. But yeah. So the age of Aquarius, right? So we have the. It's like this turning of the solar system. So, where we were in alignment with Pisces, we're now in alignment with Aquarius more. It's like, yeah, it's like the solar system turning. It's like the Earth moving. I guess anyway, I couldn't explain like the ins and outs of what we refer to as the ages. Age of Cancer, age of Capricorn, age of Pisces, age of Aquarius, age of Aries, whatever. But yeah, you make a good point. So the age of Pisces was 2012 and before. I remember a big shift happening in like after 2012. That's when my awakening began. That is when a lot of things kicked up for me. So and now we're in this age of Aquarius. Now, the important thing to know about the ages is that it doesn't just go, oh, we're at December 31st, 2012, okay, we're going to slice time in half, and the Pisces age is here, the Aquarius age is here. Oops, sorry for hit my mic. It's not like those ages are delineated by a fine line or split in that. It's like if you've ever seen like a editing software where you have to fade out of one scene and into another. So you have that fading going on. So one scene is bleeding into another as the other one starts. It's kind of like that. So now that we're in 2025, we can see more of that happening. The age of Aquarius starting. People are waking up from all the, how the ways that the government lies to us and all this BS. Oh, there was no Epstein files. Sure, yeah, sure. But that's what they do. They're liars. So to expect anything else from them is a waste of time. But you know, so you said that you felt worse going into Aquarius, right? And I'm wondering what your reasoning behind that is. Is that because we had, COVID? Or is that because of the economic crashes we've had recently? Or is that actually due to that separation of ages? Age of Pisces, age of Aquarius. That tells me that something tells me that I should investigate that more with you. That we could do in a private session if you like. But yeah, it's interesting. It's good to know, guys, that we have this thing called the Yuga cycles. Okay, so YUGA, and I want you to look at the Sri Yukteswar Yuga cycles. Now, a lot of people conflated Kali Yuga with Pisces, and a lot of people still think that we are in Kali Yuga, but I can tell you that we are not. So a better system of explaining, because I'm not familiar with age of Pisces, age of Aquarius, but a better way of explaining this, and I know that anyway, a better way is looking at the Yuga cycles, because I'll explain the yugas. So we have Satya Yuga up top. This is the age of truth and enlightenment and all the good things. Life is easy, life is wonderful and spiritual and all those things. This is the peak of human enlightenment, human experience, without the craziness, the violent crime and all that. And then on either side of this is a circle, so we have Satya Yuga up here. Then we have Treta Yuga. And then we have Dwapara Yuga. And then at the bottom is Kali Yuga. And there's different time periods for each of those. But right now here's Kali Yuga at the bottom. And then we are just on the upswing, coming out of Kali Yuga into Dwapara Yuga. We are like maybe 100 years or so out of Kali Yuga. I would say more than that. Probably during the Industrial Revolution is when Dwapara Yuga started. So that doesn't exactly line up with the 2012 split between Pisces and Aquarius. So what Dwapara Yuga is it's you have that word Dwa meaning two, right? Dwapara, that's two halves. The age of two halves. So we have that means that half of humanity will be enlightened or like spiritually aware, or as we say nowadays, awake, and the other half will not be. In Kali Yuga, this is the age where we had to, fertilize our fields with human waste, feces, things like that. We would, plant the fields and do all that with the human waste. And then, they'd grow this cabbage in the Dark Ages. They'd grow, their crops and stuff because nothing would grow without, I guess, human waste of some kind. And so, or I guess we didn't have any fertilizers or something like that. I have no idea. But Dark Ages, that is when Kali Yuga was. So, the bubonic plague, the where people were having sickness, plagues, famine, all kinds of crap like that. That's Kali Yuga. That's where everybody was in darkness. Everybody was totally disconnected from their soul. People would be, if they spoke any truth, that's when we had like Galileo, where the guy that I think it was Galileo anyway, guy who said, "Oh yeah, the world is round and everything, and we rotate around the sun." They had very bad consequences for him with that. And yeah, and so um yeah, it was all about we don't want to know the truth. Kali Yuga was a very bad time. We are out of Kali Yuga. We are in Dwapara Yuga. And now if you look at the chart, I'm sorry that I don't have that up for you now. I'm visualizing it in my head, but where we are down here in the bottom left, if you draw a line straight to the other side, the top right, that is where the Younger Dryas was. So this is a 26,000 year map. So 13,000 years ago was the Younger Dryas. And then shortly before that, in the Satya Yuga period, was when we had the Egyptian pyramids made, especially the Great Pyramid with King Surid. You can look up into King Surid's stories and all that. And yeah, so that's that's a great thing to look into, because I was told in a past life that I was a Egyptian priest. So here I am trying to complete the mission and fulfill my duties as that priest. And that I was the master of the heart center. I was told that so much joy and love was billowing out of me that I couldn't contain it, so I needed to come out down here, and I needed to like dote on people, being the Jupiterian priest that I am, being, dote on people, love on people, and just heal the world with my incredible love and happiness and joy and things like that. All right, so that's what I'm uncomfortable with. It doesn't make me comfortable saying those things, but I mean, whatever. You gotta learn how to do the hard things. All right, so let's continue. Wrap it up here. Let me see here. Okay, so Yeah, so he is having a hard time since the age of Aquarius began, and seeing that we are no longer in the age of Pisces, things have been so hard for me. But I know that if I can just take the right steps, have Jupiter influence. Yeah, so, okay. So, yeah. So, here's the thing. The age of Pisces was, if you look at where Pisces is these two fish that are, basically their tails are tied by a string and they're pulled together. They're tied in by the string that's coming out. And then there's the fish, trying to go two different ways, but they're like basically tied together. So, you know, um, that's what the constellation looks like. I'm telling you that because I told somebody else that, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not." Whatever. It actually is. That's exactly what it looks like. So, yeah. So, if you look at it, two parting ways. You have the left side, you have the right side, you have right and wrong, you have Democrat, Republican, this and that. It's always this split. We can't just be together and be joined like this. It's always everybody has to have an argument. Everyone has to have a fucking thing to say about everything. So that's what this is. This going in two different directions and causing a breaking of, everything. That's what the Civil War was about. That was what the Revolutionary War was about. I endorse the Revolutionary War. That was a good thing. I do not endorse the Civil War. That was not a good thing for both sides, but especially the South. Um, but yeah, you know, um, so the thing with the Pisces, right? We have Pisces, the age of Pisces. This was the age of religion. The symbol for Christianity is a fish. Why? No idea. Um, it's Christianity is the only literalist religion, by the way. Well, so I guess you know, uh, Islam is too. I guess. Yeah. Anyway, but it's this. Oh, you're, you know, sinning. You're doing right. You're doing wrong. You're a bad person. You're a good person. This and that. And it's just like I'm so glad we've come out of that age. It's just like this dualist, monotheistic kind of thing. Anyway, and then we have Aquarius. So I'll explain what Aquarius is. Aquarius is the guy, you can see it in the astrological sign. This guy pouring out this large vessel of water, you know, pouring drinks, pouring, washing people, giving them baths, food, water, nourishment. This is what this is. This is the gains of your work. This is the water bearer, the person who carries the water. You ever heard of somebody carrying water for another person or another company or whatever? The water carrier. This is the supporter, the nourisher, the uplifter, you got this, all that stuff. So Aquarius should be a time where we see more prosperity, where we see more freedom of expression, more growth, more just like an upspringing of like this, like a renaissance, like a freedom, like a, like just this incredible amount of like freedom and energy and things like that. And as well as like, people caring for each other, like humanitarian aid, the sign of Aquarius, friends, family, like, older siblings, friends, friend groups, social networks. This is the time that we're coming into. We're coming into a time where, the power, instead of it being held in government, is being poured out and released upon the people. So the people will now have more power than the government, and that's what we're seeing in the UK when they try to censor speech. That's what we're seeing in, you know, even just the Trump administration in some aspects. You know, um, yeah. So, um, anyway, so remedies, right? We're talking about remedies. Okay. So I want you to do this. Okay. So if you're here's okay, let me look at my book and I'll go through each planet. Okay. So we're talking about remedies. And we have okay. Let me see here. Okay, so come on, cooperate. Alright. Okay, so now so different planets need different remedies. Okay? So if the sun is bothering you, this means that, like, it's all about, figuring out what is actually going on. Okay, so I don't want you to just take this information and just say, "Oh yeah, the sun is bad placed." Well, I have Mars in Cancer, and it's like not well placed. But let me tell you, it gives me a vigor for starting my own stuff and doing well in business and stuff. So it's in Cancer in the 10th house. So I mean, there some things that are so it's not just what you think. I would encourage you to get a reading with me. That way you can get an actual, and this goes for everybody. Get a reading with me so that you can actually get a proper remedy, a proper mantra, a proper ritual, a tantric ritual to do. So that way you can actually feel, be confident. That way I can feel confident that you're not just, screwing around with something that might be potentially dangerous for you. Okay, please, let's grow up a little bit and let's not have that need for instant gratification. Oh, I gotta have it right now, I gotta have it right now, or else my life is gonna end. Let's stop with that, settle down, and let's recognize and realize that whatever is going on with you, whatever it is, whatever you feel like is a negative influence of some planet, I just want to tell you that this is part of your karma. This is what you signed up for. This is, what it is. And trust me, I see where the planets are placed in my chart, and I know the negative influences they've had on my chart and my life. Um, However, here's probably the most important thing that I could ever teach you. You signed up for this life. You said, "Hey, I'm a big, powerful, being. I'm a big, powerful God. I'm a big, powerful spiritual being. Up there in the 5D or above. You're like, oh yeah, I want to go down and experience that. I want to grow. I want to see what that's like. And so each and every one of us chose our own human experiment to fulfill. So I don't want to hear that, oh, you're a victim and this person did this and that person did that and, oh, life is so horrible. Come on. Let's, and believe me, I've been through some stuff in my life. And this is a much healthier mindset to be in than, oh God, I'm a victim of circumstance and I can't change anything in my life and everyone's out against me and I can't do anything, so might as well give up and blah blah blah. It's like you can choose what you want to think about the world and your place in it. So why not give yourself a good um a good perspective on things, a good starting point, which is the assumption that you chose to be here and that you are powerful, and that since you chose to manifest what you currently manifest in your life, you can also choose to unmanifest that and manifest something else. And I know this is a hard lesson because most people, oh God, what about the kids in Africa? Why did they choose that life? Go ask those kids. That's none of my business why they chose that. That's none of my business. It's also none of my business why you chose your life. Just know that you did. The quicker that you can accept that you chose your life and you chose all the circumstances that you're in, means that you can choose something different. So before we get into remedies, this is the base assumption that I want you to follow. This is the base assumption that has worked for me over my many years of spiritual development. And I've seen, let's just put it this way. I have a cousin who consistently chooses the most destructive assumptions and behaviors to do, and he's either homeless or he's in jail. That's it. When you choose the most destructive path, the most destructive way to think, the most destructive way to behave, and believe me, beliefs and thoughts and behaviors are all actions. They are actions. And when I say you can control your actions, I say you're responsible for choosing your actions. That's what I'm talking about. It's not just, oh well, I did 1,000 push-ups today, so I'm good. Or it's not just, oh yeah, I did my job and I came home now, so I'm good. It's, okay, what are you thinking? What are you telling yourself? What are you believing about yourself? What are you assuming to be true about yourself and your place in the world? And this is more than this commenter. I don't know who this person is. I don't have anything against them. I wish them all the luck in the world and all the blessings in the world. It sounds like they're having a very hard time right now, but the beautiful thing is that they can choose differently. And I know it's hard. So here's how I go about things. Is I will get up every day, do my normal stuff, take care of brush my teeth, comb my hair, shower, whatever, this and that. Once I'm ready for the day, then I will ask myself this one question. What can I do today that will make myself the most happy? What can I do today that will make myself the most happy and joyful person that I can be? And I listen with my heart. I don't listen with my mind. My mind says, well, if you had $1 million today, that would be awesome. My heart says, I just want to go. I would love to live in Florida. I would love to go fishing. I would love to be in a tropical setting. I would love to go scuba diving, things like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm working on that for you, but for right now, what can we do? Oh, I'd like to go work out today. Okay, great. Go work out. I have a home gym, so that's easy. I want to take a walk. I want to go do something productive. I want to record a video. I want to be helpful to somebody. This is what I'm always doing to myself. Is I think, okay, what can be the thing that makes me happiest today? And I might not have like everything that I want right now, but I do things to get there. So I want you to adopt that mindset. And whatever you don't like in your life means that it's not meant to be there. So, if you don't like that job, quit. Find something else to do. You don't like working for a boss that, criticizes you all the time? Okay, start your own business. I'll tell you what I do every day. I do the things that I want to do. I have committed to myself that I am not going to work for a boss. I'm not going to, work for anyone who says, okay, you can go to the restroom between this time and that time. Or you can take a break at this time. No, why? That doesn't make any sense. Plus, I hate being controlled like that. Any degree of control I naturally rebel against. So, that's just me though. Plenty of people love to, okay, sir, I'll do that for you. Oh, yes, sir, I will go do that for you. It's, some people just have no problem with that, but I do. And that's okay. I was meant to be this way. That's alright. Okay. So, yeah. Let me see here. So, as far as remedies, I know you guys are always about your remedies and your, this and that. But that right there is the biggest remedy of all. That will solve all the problems. And I would also recommend, if you're curious about this mindset, to learn more about how you can manifest everything you want in your life. Go get the Shamanic Commandment to a Perfect Life by Michael Denney with an EY at the end. Denney. Okay, so let's get to these remedies, shall we? Let me see, I don't even know what time we're at. So, hold on. Okay, we are an hour in, so that's a long time. That's a very long time. Alright, I'm gonna run through these quickly. So the sun This is authority, expressive, creative, loyal, leader, children, fun, playful, romantic, assertive. If you have problems with the sun, you're going to do a Surya mantra. Okay. So, here we have, a Rama mantra. So, the mantra for the sun is Ong Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Ong Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Ong Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Let's do that 108 times for 40 days. 40 days. For moon, if you're having problems with the moon, with your mind, with mental stability, with emotional overwhelm, things like that, you're going to do a Krishna mantra. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That means I bow to the divine giver of life. The sun mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya, means I bow to the nourisher who balances sun and moon, mind and soul. Alright, so if you're having problems with Mars, that means infection, inflammation, any kind of cuts, bruises, inflammation, heat exhaustion, things like that, or even just a lot of anger. If you have a lot of anger, I want you to do this one, which is Mars or Narasimha. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. That means I bow to the divine man-lion who destroys self-criticism. Mercury. If you have problems with speech or your throat or anything like that, like communication, if you're not communicating well, things like that. Mercury. This is Buddha, Budha. Mercury's name in Vedic astrology is Buddha. And that is Om Namo Bhagavate Buddha Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Buddha Devaya. And that means I bow to the divine one. I bow to the divine one who has unified the intellect with the heart center. So this is the heart mind. The intellect and the heart center. A lot of people are in their intellect. Not a whole lot of people are in their heart center nowadays. And in order to get into that heart center, you have to open up and you have to kind of, it's a really good thing when you can merge the intellect with the heart center. It allows you to be a very wise person. Because the wisdom comes from the heart and the knowledge comes from the mind or the intellect. Alright, let's see. So Jupiter. We have Vamana. So Vamana is a dwarf. So all of these, if you've noticed from now up until now, have been incarnations of Vishnu. So the Jupiter incarnation of Vishnu is Vamana. So the mantra for Vamana is Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Vamanaya. Venus, if you're having problems with love or relationships or things like that, or money or things like that, anything Venus related, Venus, here's the thing, guys. If there's a planet that is placed badly in your chart, but it's not giving you bad results, just leave it alone. I'm telling you. You don't want to piss a planet off. You don't want to do anything unnecessary that will cause more, imbalance. So let's say Saturn is badly placed. Okay, if Saturn is not putting like restraints on you, if you're not getting like broken bones, if you're not like getting into accidents, if you're not like paralyzed or really severely crippled or damaged or limited in any way, if you're not limited in a very serious way, then just leave it alone. You don't want to mess with that. Okay? So, where was I? So, Vamana, Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Vamanaya. Venus is, you could do Parashurama or Rishikesha. Om Namo Bhagavate Rishikeshaya. That means I bow to the divine warrior who defeated the fundamentalist elites. And Saturn, which is Kurma, the turtle. And Saturn is Om Namo Bhagavate Kurma Devaya. We'll talk about Rahu and Ketu. Rahu, the mantra for Rahu. And by the way, you have in Vedic astrology, you have passive and active mantra. You have passive and active remedies. So something like wearing a gemstone, for instance, would be a passive remedy. Doing a mantra, doing a ritual, doing puja, things like that, that's an active remedy. So that means that it's going to have more power, it's going to have more, more oomph, if you will. Something like that, Alright, so let's talk about Rahu. Rahu is Shukra or Varaha. And the mantra for Rahu is Om Namo Bhagavate Varahaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Varahaya. Let's talk about Ketu, which is Matsya or Mina. Mina or Matsya. Which is, the mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Matsya Devaya. Alright. So, I'm not going to get into the advanced ritual stuff because that is reserved for people who buy this book, and it's available now on Amazon. Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology. Go out and buy it now if you want to learn more. It has some good stuff in it. Go check it out. It is stuff that is tantric remedies, tantric practices. Like, you pair, so those mantras that I gave you, you pair those with certain, ritual elements. Like, depending on what planet you're doing a mantra for, where that planet is placed in your chart, you face a certain direction, and you offer a certain element to that planet. So, it's all complicated stuff, and I can't get into it here because everybody's gonna have a different chart with a different placement. So yeah, I can't do that here. Alright guys, so anyhow, yeah, I am really looking forward to getting more clients. So please, if you want your own tailored reading, like I can answer questions, I can do all that. I'm a very competent astrologer. And yeah, if you want to speak with me, if you want my time, there's places to go for that. You can go to gebotheshaman.com. You can purchase an astrology reading, a birth time rectification service. The birth time rectification is an involved process where I ask you questions, I get information based on your responses to me. I figure things out within your chart. It is something that takes a lot of time. That's why I charge so much for it. So, yeah. So, but I gave you a cheaper and better option. You can always put your, view your chart from your moon. So, that means wherever your moon is placed in your chart, if you don't know your time, you just set it for 12 p.m. That means noontime in the middle of that day. And you just see where your moon is placed, and you put that placement in the ascendant position, and you view your chart from there. All the planets and signs and the placements, you just view everything from there, and that'll provide a lot. There's a lot that you can get out of that. Okay? And if you want me to look at your moon placement and you want me to read your moon chart, please book an astrology reading with me, okay? And let me know that you want me to read your moon chart, and I will do that for you. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys. It's been a while since I've made a video like this, and I'm glad I'm back on the channel, and I'm being of service, being of help to people, and yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, this video is way too long. I don't know how many people are gonna watch it. Leave a comment in the description if you watch till the end. Alright? And yeah, I'm like, every time I do these things, I'm like always woozy at the end. It's just so much energy moving through me. It's like trapped in my higher centers, which means I gotta do Qigong after this, so yeah. So anyone who's found value out of this video, please give me a like, a thumbs up, and please do subscribe. If you want more value, more content like this, then please do subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave a positive comment in the comment box down below. And yeah, you can see all my products and services down in the description, okay? gebotheshaman.com. You can also check out my Qigong courses that I had them up over here earlier. But you can check those out at patreon.com/gebotheshaman. And yeah, so thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Ugh, I'm tired. I talked a lot today. Alright, we'll see you later. Bye.